So Lady Macbeth is about this storyline set in 1865. We meet this girl in a church, and she's getting married, and we have no idea who to, where she is, who she is. We quickly learn that on her wedding night, she's married to someone because of land, and within about 10 minutes, we realise that this is the worst marriage she's ever, or anyone has ever been in. And so she does that for a couple of weeks, and then she decides that she doesn't want to do it. So she kicks back, and she fights back, and she finds a lover, and she finds alcohol, and she finds sex, and she starts enjoying herself, and then it all gets a little bit ugly. Lady Macbeth. And of course there were times in the storyline where it's difficult to tell your body to do that, because it's not you, and it's not any people that you know that would ever be violent to people. Well, I would hope not anyway. So to me, that was the hardest bit. There are a couple of violent scenes towards the end that are difficult to watch, let alone do. And I remember after the first take that we did it, well, Will wanted to make sure that we didn't have to do it very many times, because he wanted a full long take of me basically killing someone. And we only did the take about 3 times, and each time it was about 10 minutes long. And I remember after the first take, I remember turning around and going to push Cosmo out the door, and as I turned back around to the camera, I was just bawling my eyes out, and that was just a natural human reaction to smothering a child, as it would be. So yeah, that was really hard, and I didn't know how that looked, and I didn't really want to know how that looked, but I suppose that's the beauty of Catherine. She's not necessarily a villain. She does things because she feels compelled to do them to save herself, to save her own skin. So she is allowed to be human, and she is allowed to be real, and she is allowed to cry over the fact that she just killed someone, which is, I think, where people get a bit confused. I mean, definitely his bond with actors is probably the thing that everybody praises him about. In the last 2 years, I've met nearly 100 actors who have all either worked with him or been taught by him or something, and they all greet me with this beaming smile, like, you know, Will. He gets along with everyone, and he gauges how you work. But I think on set, anything can go. It's not like he has a specific way of working. He knows when something works, and he knows when something doesn't work, and I think that's a very brave thing for a director to have, which is allowing something to be even when you don't know. And so that was why that film was so freeing, was because if the scene needed the camera to just be on us for a couple of minutes for us to figure things out, he would let it happen, and that doesn't usually happen in film. So I'd say that was his beaming quality, was just having the ability to gauge and know when things work and when things don't. I mean, of course it's frightening if someone... This isn't what Will does, but like, if someone came into work and said, do it, that's terrifying, because you need to have some guidelines. But what I mean is, you know, not being afraid to just sit in a room for a moment, which is what we do all the time when we're living. We sit on a sofa and we wait. And for some reason, when we watch film, we expect everything to be chopped up and ready and you know, glossy and ready for us to watch, when actually the most human thing for us to do is to watch someone being bored in a space. And Will was brave enough to do that. And sometimes the cameras would just roll, and that's very freeing, just to be able to give something a go. And he would come in and say, by the way, that was awful, or by the way, that was amazing. But, you know, we had a relationship by then where he could do that, and I could do that, and I could say, nah, and he could say, nah. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure some people would find that scary. It is scary.